scaring everybody.
I'm going to try to remember our conversation, but you might need to give me a call.
Okay. Will do.
This was from the commissioner.
Tim, are we on usually? No, okay. Okay. I know usually it's a few minutes before. Okay. Okay, if the board members can make sure they have their microphones turned on, we're going to get started, please.
We're good.
All right, good evening. The hour being 6:30 PM on Monday, October 23rd, 2023. I'd like to call to order the Brookfield Village Board meeting. Would everyone please join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Bridget, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Here.
Trustee Cote?
Here.
Trustee Hendricks?
Here.
Trustee Gilhuli?
Here.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Here.
Trustee Niramatsu is absent, and President Garvey.
Here. Thank you, Bridget. Before we go into appointments and presentations, the village suffered a loss in a member of our community, Patrick Benjamin, who was a longtime planning commission member and just general. He's one of those people I call a cheerleader for Brookfield. He was always very positive about Brookfield. He had previously served as a role in LaGrange under their community development department, but he lived in Brookfield, and he was always one of Brookfield's biggest cheerleaders, and he unfortunately passed away last week. So if everyone would just please join me in a moment of silence in Pat's memory. It's a big loss. A lot of people knew him personally, and the members of the Planning, Zoning Commission have a meeting coming up this Thursday, but I thought it'd be appropriate to remember him tonight with just a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. Trustee Hendricks?
I would just like to say, we could always count on Pat to be a strong voice for the village. He always had thoughtful comments and discussion, drawing on his many years of experience in public service. And I am grateful that we had him for as long as we did.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the items. We have an appointment. I'd entertain a motion to appoint Linda Dumas to the Brookfield Fire and Police Commission effective November 1st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Cote, seconded by Trustee Gilhuli. This vacancy came up, Trustee Tim Heilenbach, who has served on the Police and Fire Commission for some time, submitted a letter to me asking that he be allowed to step down effective November 1st, just to focus on some other things. And we thank Tim. I thank Tim personally for his service. He's still on until November 1st, but this is a very busy commission, and they have a lot of work to do, so we wanted to make sure there wasn't a big lapse in the vacancy. So thank you to Tim. And Linda is someone that I think all of you recognize and know. I was sort of reluctant to approach her because she has a few things on her plate already, but she had the perfect skill set for this commission, and I know she'll work well with the rest of the commission. Do any board members have any questions or comments regarding the appointment?
I'm very happy that you're coming forth and doing this, Lenny. It's very important. I don't know if everybody knows this, but the Dumas family does so much for Brookfield as it is. They're the ones who started. They're the driving force behind Share Food, Share Love Food Pantry, and it's just such a welcome addition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion, a second. Hearing no further comment. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gilhuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Linda, if you could please come up to be sworn in. If you want to bring your better half up with you, you can.
I, Linda Dumas,
I, Linda Dumas,
having been appointed to the office of
having been appointed to the office of
Board of Fire and Police Commission
Board of Fire and Police Commission
in the Village of Brookfield,
in the Village of
in
Brookfield,
the County of Cook,
in the County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the
And that-
duties of
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
Office of Board of Fire and Police Commission
Office of and Board of Fire and Police Commission
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for letting us borrow some more. Do you want to introduce your family? I know I didn't realize you had some more of your cheering section in the audience.
My daughter Jessie and her boyfriend Carl have come as well. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we're going to put you right to work, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, there's no other items or appointments, presentations. We do, at this point, I'm going to open to public comment, but we do have our Cook County Commissioner, Frank Aguilar, who's here tonight. We had him on a previous agenda, and he had a conflict and couldn't make it, but he asked for some time to kind of give the board some updates about what's going on in the district. So welcome, Commissioner, again. We always appreciate you being here.
Always glad to be here, President and Board. President Garvey and Madam Clerk, thank you for having me here today. Just a quick report of what's going on here. Brookfield received the ARPA funding $2,489,138, and the Back to Business grant, $140,000. That means businesses applied for this Back to Business and they got the money directly. Some of the accomplishments that we have is I wrote a letter to support the Brookfield 2023 Invest in Cook project to approve the Cook by Cook County, and Brookfield received over $208,000 from the county and the multi-model safe passage connection at Congress Park, and I gave you the details on it. I passed on. I brought in over $3 million in FEMA and aid for the July storms during the housing assistance, individual assistance, small business and loans, and disaster unemployment insurance. We brought over $100 million from $100 million in ARPA funding and over $10 million in back to business funding to the 16th district residents, community organizations, businesses, and municipalities. I held an opioid crisis forum in Broadview, and I tend to have more because that seems to be a problem, and it's becoming the #1 killer for especially our youth. So it's unfortunate. If you have any resolutions that an outstanding citizen in Brookfield, please let me know. I'd like to highlight them during the board meetings at the county. I partner up with the Illinois Manufacturing Excellence Center and the Bureau of Economic Development to bring manufacturing grants to the suburbs. If you want to hold a seminar with the Bureau of Economic Development, please do contact my office and I'll make sure I bring them here. I partner up with the Sheriff's Department, with the Sheriff's Office for safe training and carjacking prevention seminars, car safety, repairing headlights and other issues, and information sessions from the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Brought over $3 million to the 16th District for gun prevention, reduction violence, and I was the lead sponsor to initiate and bring a helicopter to Cook County Sheriff's Office to combat car hijacking and assist them in general public safety and emergency management. Hopefully we should get a helicopter by next year. You know, we're the second largest county in the country, and they don't have a functioning helicopter, so that's kind of crazy. So once we get this helicopter, I'm going to push for another one. Brought funding to returning citizens for rental assistance and reentry services. Partner with the board review and assessor's office and hold property taxes seminars to get information to access residents to keep their taxes as low as possible. I brought a climate plan funding to form grants of the 16 district municipalities and to improve climate resiliency, including addressing flooding. Multiple votes to bring transportation and infrastructure funding to the 16th district to improve streets and safety, flooding, traffic, and more. Collaborated with federal and state, local municipality office to provide healthcare options and information, rental assistance for tenants and landlords, assistance to small businesses, and help the unemployed. Assisted residents in Cook County Emergency Rental, and host monthly town hall meetings. I'm going to have one next week. And I published a state of the district report in the 16th district. But I'm going to ask you, my big thing is infrastructure, and especially stormwater flooding. And I'd like to have you join me to address our federal officials. I don't mind them sending billions of dollars to aid other countries, but I think we should just take care of our home first, especially when it comes to infrastructure and stormwater. I have a couple events coming up. A Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, health fair in my district office this Saturday at 10 o'clock. That's 7833 Ogden Avenue. And I just gave the mayor this. On Thursday, October 26th, there's going to be a flag exchange. We have a new county flag. They call it I Will. And the way this came about, we gave the opportunity to high school students to design the flag. It was like a 2-year process. And the flag that won the judging is currently a new county flag, and they call it I Will. So this is basically my report. I'd like to thank everybody here. I'd like to get a quick picture because I got to jump out another meeting. So give me a quick
Sure, do you want a picture with the whole board, or? Okay, if the board can step down with me and take a quick picture?
Okay, can you get a little closer? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. We appreciate you coming out. The commissioner's always accessible to me. See, when we had the storms in July, he was texting me and calling me several times throughout the day and the days after to see. Luckily, we were not affected as much as some of the other suburbs, but he did reach out, and he's always accessible to me, so we appreciate that.
I bet you could use $1 billion for Brookfield, right? That's what I told them.
Why not?
Did you bring it with you tonight? Thank you very much, Commissioner. Okay. We'll go on with the rest of public comment. Is there anyone on this side that has any public comment? Anybody on this side that has any public comment? Okay, hearing no public comment, we'll move on to reports of special committees. Please, Trustee Cote.
I would like to make a motion to approve corporate warrant dated October 23rd, 2023, in the amount of $1,116,865.04.
Second?
Okay, the motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Hendricks. Any highlights you want to point out, Trustee Cote?
Not this time around, no.
Do any board members have any questions or comments related to the warrant? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli? Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
In regards to DPW, our DPW's been very busy. Streets Department, just to touch on a few things, they've completed repairing trip hazards in 9 different locations, also completing curb repairs in Windmere and Morton. Forestry Department, we're busy changing out the banners on Grand and clearing out the hanging baskets and completing the dead tree survey through zones 1, 2, and 9. Water has been very busy cleaning the catch basins and performing leak checks at points throughout the village, also winterizing the splash pad. And as always, if you see an issue in town, the best method is to pass this information via C-Click Fix. That is the best method to make sure it gets into the right hands, into the right queue for it to be repaired. You can access this via the village website, or you can download the village app and do it on your phone. In regards to the library, I'm not going to read the whole item, but I did send out the House Resolution 433 to the rest of the board. But if you go on the Illinois government website and look up House Resolution 433, you will see that they are doing one in the next couple weeks, thanks to Representative Rashid and Library Trustee Mitzi Norton, in regards to Diane Dunier, who had passed away, but she was a longtime serving trustee on the library board. And so they are doing a House resolution in her honor. That should be coming in the next couple weeks, but is already made public on the website so you can see it. The library is teaming up again with Greater Chicago Food Depository, and will be providing afternoon snacks for school-age kids between October 2nd and March 20th from 3 to 5 p.m. There's no prerequisites, there's no requirements, there's just offering snacks to school-age kids during that time frame. There is a new library web address. The library is transitioning to www.lsfbrookfieldlibrary.org. And between now and November 1st, the old library website URL still works, but come November 1st, it will no longer work, and you will only be going to the new one. As always, you can go visit the Linda Sokol Francis Library, Public Library, for a lot of events. Please visit their website so you can see what's coming. Veterans Day this year, November 11th. It's a Saturday this year. It will be at the Veterans Park at the corner of Grand and Sunnyside, beginning at 11 a.m. It's a joint effort between the Village and the VFW, the local VFW 2868 Joshua Harris Post here in Brookfield. This is your last chance to put in for the Voice of Democracy. The Voice of Democracy program is open to students 9 through 12, grades 9 through 12. It has October 31st deadline. Please Google the Voice of Democracy. It has a $35,000 possible scholarship that you can win if you submit for this. And if you win at various levels, you'll get smaller scholarships. A young man from Brookfield did win a $100 scholarship last October for writing his phrase or writing his summary. So please take advantage of it and go look it up, the Voice of Democracy program. Veterans looking for mental health assistance can do so via the Jesse Brown Medical Center. Please call 312-569-6177 to get started with enrollment. You don't need special training to have compassion to help somebody who's in need. Special training is not required to safely raise a subject of suicide, and helping somebody feel included and showing genuine, heartfelt support can make a big difference. No matter how casually or jokingly said, suicide threats should not be ignored. If you are struggling or you know somebody who is struggling, please call 988. If that person is a veteran, do 988, hit option 1. Here in town, we do have a food depository. We have 2, but tomorrow night on Tuesday, Share Food, Share Love is open for our region, so please visit that. If you are in need, if you are not in need and you wish to volunteer, you can do so. Please contact Share Food, Share Love on their website. If you are in need of help with the VA has a national coaching into care program where they have licensed psychologists and social workers willing to talk to you by phone free of charge. All calls are confidential. To speak with a VA coach, dial 888-823-7458. This number is also on our website as well. It's also on the VACC part in the Cook County website. If you know a homeless vet or a vet on verge of becoming homeless, please call 877-424-3838. And that is for the homeless veteran assistance. If you do not have access to the internet, please visit the Brookfield Library. You can check out a laptop, you can check out a computer there, and you can go look these things up. These numbers are also available, like I said, on our website, the Village of Brookfield's website, and it's also available on the Cook County website under Veteran Affairs. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Cote. Trustee Gahuli, Chamber of Commerce, please.
Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce had their last farmers market this past weekend. It got rained out the weekend before. To be their last one, so they added on one more, thankfully. They had a beautiful day this past Saturday. Overall, this season, they had 26,428 patrons that were counted as coming through the market, so fantastic season. With the Chamber leading that effort, with the Farmers Market Manager, Gina Sherm now really heading up those efforts and looking for volunteers on a weekly basis. So if anyone is interested next season to volunteer, or you know some people that would be willing to help set up or help organize, they have a lot of opportunities, they have a lot of fun, and it's just very, very rewarding. On their behalf, I wanted to say thank you to the village staff for being present there, for our fire and police and all staff just being present and bringing the trucks out and doing some great stuff and making great contact with the community. I was there on Saturday. They had the fire trucks out, showed us the new new chair for moving people up and down stairs for the paramedics, and just amazing things there with the farmers market. So congratulations to them too for being voted #1 farmers market in Illinois by local voters, by the Farmland Trust. Through that contest, we're 4th nationwide and 2nd in the Midwest with over 4,000 votes. So they're doing something great here. So can't wait till next season to see what they bring. Also, just one more shout out to Alan Goodcase from the Chamber too. If you haven't seen Alan's pictures from the farmers market, check them out on Facebook. He's very talented and just really showed some great community spirit through his photos. Monsters on Main Street is this weekend, October 28th, on Saturday from 12 to 3. This is in the Grand Avenue and Broadway business districts. Businesses will have pumpkins and signs in their windows for ones that are going to be giving out candy. We'll have thousands of kids going through the village this weekend. It's such a great way for the Chamber and the village and the Historical Society to partner together to make this another successful year. So we ask that everybody is very careful in driving through the streets on Saturday. There'll be a lot of little kids in costumes, some maybe not seen very clearly through masks, but there'll be businesses will be open, and there'll be some other groups too set up along the streets, like the Brookfield Women's Club and others who'll be giving out candy and treats. So we look forward to that. Oh, and also at the Historical Society, they'll be setting up for the costume contest for all different age groups, and there'll be free pumpkins, free taffy apples, and prizes for the winning, the costume contest winners. Let's see, what else? So there are lots of plans underway for a special holiday promotion that the Chamber will be doing in conjunction with the village. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be bringing more to you possibly by the next board meeting here. The 60 to Win, the 60 to Win program were all of these tickets that were sold earlier in the season. We do drawings every Thursday for the winners. I know I saw Derek's name on here for one of the winners. We are in this week here. So this Thursday, they'll be drawing for the 7th week of our winners. So the first winner that gets pulled wins $500 prize, and then the following 5 winners each win $100 each. So this week's winners were Amanda Walsh, Dan Parcell, Valerie Fiala, Donna Raymond, Louis Heffernan, and Sharon Levacki. And so there are 4 weeks left to go. So congrats to all the winners so far. So that's it for Chamber. And I could just mention 2 other things. One is the Brookfield Aging Well team. So this is a group that's been around for a long time in Brookfield and does really great work for our seniors and our older adults in the community. Last Friday, they put on an event over at the library called These Are Heavy Times. And the idea was finding out about wellness resources in Brookfield for our seniors and for their families and friends. And they put together a panel, and they asked me to be on the panel for the Proviso Township Mental Health Commission. They also had the Lyons Township Mental Health Commission there and the Riverside Township, so represent all of Brookfield, along with a representative from NAMI, from our caseworker here that works with the police department. We had someone from the Loft at 8 Corners, someone from Pillars, and let's see, oh my goodness, Mary Helen Ekstrom, who's from Loyola Medicine and Healthcare. She does all kinds of great work with people with brain injuries and other things where she uses music therapy to get people to come out and really open up. She had everyone in the room, I'll tell you, at this event was so inspired by the end of it. I'm just so excited to get more people involved. And I've talked to Tim already about how we can help this group reach more people within the community to attend these types of events. So it was very educational. We learned how music can help people with dementia, with their movement and getting to places in their brain which can really open them up and help with therapy. So they gave an example of a woman who would take about little teeny steps, like to get to here to the other side of the room would take her half an hour. And through some therapy, she said the way that the therapy works with the brain is it uses the whole brain. They played some music, got her singing a little bit and everything. She made it across the room in 5 minutes.
Oh.
Just through the music therapy. So many other great examples of working with veterans and everything. So it was very uplifting, very educational. You saw a lot of nodding heads in the crowd and a lot of participation. So just wanted to give a shout out to the Brookfield Aging Well team for this and many other events like it that they coordinate. And thank you to Luke for helping them as well as they plan these events. They do have one coming up. It's called a Declutter Support Group. Join your friends and neighbors to share your own experiences and with what you still want and what you need to declutter your homes. They're going to be having this at the Linda Sokol Francis Brookfield Library on Monday, November 20th. This is from 10:30 to 11:45 a.m. So they're asking people to bring a Christmas decoration or ornaments in good condition from their home as they declutter and then come in and get a little education on how to be better organized. And then finally, for the Proviso Township Mental Health Commission, I wanted to just make sure everyone is aware of some of the resources. So this is just one piece of, the other townships that offer mental health support and resources for people in the community of all ages. So if you go to their website, ptmhc.org, there are resources for Illinois social resources like temporary assistance to needy families, Medicaid healthcare coverage, supplemental nutrition program, the SNAP program. There's aid to aged, blind and disabled people. There's Medicaid savings program, low-income home energy assistance program. There's resources for WIC, so women, infant, and children, and then a tremendous number of Proviso Township-specific resources from handyman services, transportation services, medical equipment lending. So these are some of the things you might not think of to go to the township for, but there are resources available. And if you call the Mental Health Commission, they are ready and waiting to help direct you to an agency or resource to assist. And that ends my report.
Thank you very much, Trustee Gahuli. Trustee Hendricks, Planning and Zoning?
Next meeting is this Thursday at 7.
Thank you. Trustee Ketchmark, Administration, Economic Development Committee?
Economic Development Commission did not meet this month. Their next meeting is November 15th, and we'll report back after that.
Thank you. Trustee Niramatsu's not here tonight, but if she was, I'm sure she would tout the Parks and Recreation Foundation fundraiser coming up on November 9th, I think it is, at Imperial Oak. And, there's information on the website about how to get tickets, or you can reach out to village staff or any of the board members to come out and support that foundation, which helps provide scholarships to some of our parks and recreation programs. And it's a great event at Imperial Oak that night. So Trustee Kaluzny, Conservation and Beautification, please.
Thank you. I'm going to start with beautification. Beautification Commission had to unfortunately cancel their fall Project Nice on the 14th of October because it was not nice outside. And so no one wanted to make it nicer looking. And so hopefully we'll do some other cleanups this fall, but it had rained for multiple days in a row, including that day, and it was just going to make it worse, us all jumping around in that. So sorry about that. But they did plant the planters on Grand Boulevard and put up some fun fall leaf decorations on Grand this past weekend. And wanted to thank the Garden Club again for doing some great work at the front of Village Hall and sprucing that up for fall, and to Vincent Public Works for sprucing up the front of the Public Works building for fall. It's beautiful when you enter there. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's helped make things look really nice for the fall season. We also, at our last meeting, discussed the banners, and we'll continue discussing that at our November meeting. The best fall and spooky decor house will be announced this week and get prizes, so look for that on Facebook. And then their next meeting will be November 14th at 6:30 p.m. The Conservation Commission, they're meeting tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., so this is their next meeting, but they wanted me to give a thank you and a high five to everyone involved in the bike lanes. They're very excited that those are done and painted so nicely, and everyone's pretty excited about that. So high fives and thank yous to everyone that was involved in that. I wanted to thank Commissioner Nate Morris for his service on that commission. He's served for several years and was stepping down. And we do have an open seat on the Conservation Commission now that he has stepped down. Also, I wanted to just share an update on the South Kiwanis Task Force that is continuing to work with residents to get feedback on the development of some walking trails on the south side of the tracks. There's a scout troop, Scout Pack 90 is working with some of the task force members to do letters in the neighborhood. I'm not sure if that's happened yet. They were getting a solicitor's permit.
It did Saturday.
Awesome.
Down Arden Avenue, passed out some literature.
Good.
And I took a handful and I went through the neighborhood.
Awesome. I know they were making sure they did it correctly with their solicitor permit, so I'm glad that that happened and they were able to walk around. So they're having their meeting for Hollywood residents only on 11/13 at 7 p.m. And then there will be a meeting in January for all of the rest of Brookfield residents, but they want to get neighborhood and community residents' feedback first at that meeting on November 13th. And just wanted to share, again, their next meeting is tomorrow night at 6:30, so they have not met since our last meeting. That ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kaluzny. We continue to work with Brookfield Zoo on many projects, and with the upcoming, it seems strange to say this, but the Holiday Magic, Holiday Lights, some of those events are going to be happening, and coordinating traffic and other events. I think it's gone a lot smoother the past couple of years, but we continue to try and work with them to limit the impact on our neighbors, especially at the South Gate on some of those really heavy good weather days, which we hope they have many of. The WCMC, I will attend the Executive Committee Board meeting this Thursday, and then the full membership meeting for the Solid Waste Agency and WCMC will be November 1st. And North Riverside, I will attend both of those meetings and report back to the board after that. So that ends the reports of special committees. At this point, I'd entertain a motion to pass the omnibus agenda.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Gahuli, second by Trustee Kaluzny. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to the items under regular business. The first item, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution authorizing the execution of a local public agency engineering services agreement by and between Edwin Hancock Engineering Company for the Burlington Avenue Surface Transportation Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Trustee Kaluzny, second by Trustee Ketchmark. This was previously discussed. Derek briefed us on the project. These next couple items, any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item, entertain a motion to pass a resolution approving the local public agency agreement for federal participation to be entered into by the Village of Brookfield in the Illinois Department of Transportation and for the appropriation of village funds for the purpose of paying for the local agency share related to the construction of the improvements in DuBois Boulevard and Burlington.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Kaluzny. Again, these are projects we previously discussed. These are the resolutions required by IDOT and the federal government. Any questions or comments from the board?
No.
Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code requesting a motor fuel tax funds for street improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Gahuli. This is for the project we just talked about, the storm construction costs for DuBois and Ogden and Burlington area. Questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. The next item, I entertain a motion to pass a resolution authorizing and directing the negotiation of a redevelopment agreement.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Kaluzny, seconded by Trustee Ketchmark. Tim, can you just clarify from what the process is after the, I mean, this, in terms of planning and zoning and next steps?
Sure. As the board discussed at your last committee of the whole meeting, we have a potential project happening in the downtown area that we call the Triangle Site. It's actually two parcels. It's a parcel that Mr. Martin McDonough, who's the petitioner, the developer, owns. He is working on acquiring the adjacent zoo property, which is now housing a garage that they use for storage. Once he acquires that site, he would like to develop the entire parcel as a mixed-use development with 2 commercial uses on the first floor and 3 stories of residential units above, consisting of about 31 units. He has made an application. The Economic Development Commission, at its last meeting, reviewed and endorsed a TIF incentive agreement in the amount of $300,000 to pay for certain TIF-eligible expenses related to the development of those parcels. The board talked about it at your economic development, or not at your last committee of the whole meeting, and you endorsed the concept. So if you approve this resolution, you're directing the village attorney and staff to work with the petitioner. We'll develop a formal agreement that will come forward on a subsequent village board meeting for formal consideration of the $300,000 TIF incentive. If that's approved, then I believe the petitioner will move forward, acquire the piece from the zoo. They have told us that they have an agreement in place. In principle, they're waiting to see if this agreement ultimately gets approved. If it is, they will acquire that piece. Once they have both pieces, they will start through most likely the planning unit development process through the Plan Commission. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for the public to review and comment on the merits or the demerits of the plan at the Plan Commission. And that obviously is all development projects that seek zoning variations do. They come ultimately for the village board for final and formal consideration.
Thank you, Tim. We have a motion, a second, right?
Yeah.
Is there any questions or comments from the board related to this?
Nope.
Okay. I think the board expressed their excitement previously at the meeting, and I think it's continued excitement. I know there's some work to be done in the process to go through, but we appreciate the substantial investment they're planning on making, and it's a project and a site that's obviously been on everyone's mind and a key development site. And we truly believe when this happens, if it happens, that it will lead to even more development after this. So exciting time. We'll go through the process. We'll try and go through the process as quickly as we can, but we will follow all the appropriate hearings and processes going forward. So if there's no further comment, can we have roll call, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. The last item, I'd entertain a motion to pass an ordinance approving a contract to Midwest Fields for the Roy A. Overhold Field Improvements Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Trustee Cote, seconded by Trustee Gahuli. As the memo indicates, this is a project that the Brookfield Little League has brought forward to us. As we all know, Overhold Field's the best field around, but even the best fields need some maintenance and upkeep. And Brookfield Little League went through the process of requesting proposals to get this work done, and they actually did a lot of volunteer work themselves to kind of reduce the cost of this by some of the demolition and pre-work. And the timing of it is pretty sensitive because, as you all know, baseball pretty much goes year-round. So it was a great summer season. It was a great fall season. The Overhold tournament happened, and to get ready for the early spring that we're going to have, this work needs to happen quickly. So they requested proposals from companies that everyone in this area of work and field maintenance is familiar with, and Midwest Fields had the best proposal. So the ordinance we have before us tonight requires that we waive the bidding process. The contract that we have in front of us meets all the village requirements for contracts, including prevailing wage. But if the board approves this, it requires a 2/3 vote of the village board to approve this, to waive the bids. And this is a process we've used in other situations. This will allow the work to get done because they've started the prep work already in advance. That winter's not going to come too early. They'll be able to get started on it, get the work done, and be ready for the spring. So, any questions or comments from the board?
No.
We have some of the fine representatives and volunteers from Brookfield Little League here. Is there anything you wanted to add, or?
No, I think you covered it well. Thank you.
Okay. we appreciate the work you've done, and we're excited about the upgrade, and hopefully baseball season will be here again real soon, so. All right, if there's no further questions or comments, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. That, we'll sign the ordinance tonight, and then Stevie or Luke will reach out to you and get the work started, and we'll try and delay bad weather for you. Thank you for all the work. Okay, that ends the items we have under regular business. Anything in the manager's report, Tim?
Yes, thank you, President Garvey. Just 2 items. Tuesday is Halloween, October 31st, and the police department has announced, I'm sure people are waiting with bated breath to see when trick-or-treating hours will be, and it will be from 3 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday night. So please abide by the trick-or-treating hours in the general public. Second item is the board has approved a contract to do much-needed water main work in and around Prairie Avenue, right downtown, along with Brookfield Avenue, Prairie, and the railroad tracks. This work is going to necessitate the closing of the railroad crossing at Prairie, both northbound and southbound, for about a month. We know it's going to be disruptive. We know it's going to be a mess. There's message board signs that I think went out today. They'll be out there for the duration of the project. Traffic will be diverted to either the west at Maple or to the east at the Zoo Crossing. And it's going to be a mess, so we ask for everybody's patience and diligence to get across there. If you can find alternative ways to get around that area during that period, that would be most welcome. But it will be a solid month that that crossing will be closed for. That is all.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, there being no further business on the village board agenda at 7:11, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the village board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Cote, second by trustee Kaluzny. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the board meeting's adjourned at 7:11. We will start the committee of the whole meeting in just a few minutes. Thank you for coming.
We got a lot to sign.
I almost commented on it. Nicole. I almost commented how I noticed that there wasn't water for the first time. I was really
Mike
proud.
collected them.
Does anyone else need one? Who needs water?
I brought mine. Thanks. Cheers, Kit.